Hello everyone, today is Saturday, November 3rd, 2018, and in today's video I want to talk about the elements of organized stalking and harassment as it affects the life of targeted individuals. The major tactics that they use, the major tactics such as stalking, harassing, the smear campaigns, the slander, and the betrayal. And overall the entire process of it, and the affliction that we go through, it's very, it's tormenting. We as target individuals, we're tormented relentlessly. And, a lot of people like to say, oh, it's delusional. You're delusional. You suffer from delusional, some sort of delusional disorder or psychosis or schizophrenia, and then you have those who are, of the Christian religious aspect of it, saying that it's all demonic possession and that, people aren't stalking these are the demons doing it, and so on and so forth. I'm going to make this video really brief because it's a lot of the stuff, that I'm getting ready to say now. It's redundant. It's been said, time and time again by myself and many other people who are, on this platform, sharing their testimony and sharing their experiences and documenting, their evidence. So as for the definition of a demon, the definition is an evil spirit or devil, especially one thought to possess a person or act as a tormentor in hell. Now, when it comes to the energy behind organized stalking and harassment, it's something very dark and nefarious, to scheme, plot, and calculate to destroy an individual's life. There's no good that can come from that. It's done in such a way, being able to try to pinpoint, who exactly is doing it, why they're doing it. Your guess can be as good as the next person. Like you really, have a hard time narrowing it down to one good reason and one good source. And that's the reason why it's called organized stalking and harassment, or gang stalking, because it's many people involved. While there's just one target, there's many people that are the targeters. There's many people that are, attacking the one individual. But I want to hop right into the biblical aspect of it to show that even referencing in the Bible, reading the Psalms of David, you can see that, he's talking about his enemies. That, a lot of times in the book of Psalms, he's talking about how his enemies are surrounding him, how they're, attacking him. They're doing a lot of the things that we as targeted individuals have witnessed from our persecutors or from our enemies. It's the stalking, the mobbing surrounding, the harassing, the smear, slander, and betrayal, and just overall torment. So with the first scripture I want to read to you is about the stalking aspect of it, and that is in Psalm 10 verse 2, and it says, "In his arrogance the wicked man hunts down the weak, who are caught in the schemes he devises." Now when you think about that hunt, a hunter, hunter is out looking for its prey, stalking, hiding in the shadows, as not to be seen, so that they can, execute their strike. That's exactly what the wicked man is doing. Now, if you see in this particular scripture, it doesn't say the wicked demon. It doesn't say the devil. It says the wicked man. So what's behind him? It is a man, that's doing the hunting, but what's behind him is the wickedness, and he, in the very part at the end where it says, he hunts down the weak who are caught in the schemes he devises. So these things that he has set up, these snares, these traps, so that you, for example, like when you're out and about, anybody who's gone through the mobbing, the following around, in the grocery store or while you're out and about. They provoke you to a reaction, so that, especially in this modern day and age, people are ready to whip out their phone and record a video. So when they provoke you to a reaction, they can say, see, I told you she was crazy, or I told you he was crazy, or I told you, this person's criminally insane. However they want to, paint you out to be, that's what they'll do. So, those are the schemes. And, that has to deal with the stalking aspect of it. Now, for the harassment aspect of it, another scripture I want to share is in Psalm as well. And it is chapter 14, verse 6. It says, you evildoers frustrate the plans of the poor, but the Lord is their refuge. Now, when you think about it, frustrate the plans of the poor. So it's like, a lot of target individuals, we've mentioned how, we try to, it's very difficult for us to find friendships and maintain friendships or relationships. Our relationships are oftentimes sabotaged, both professional and, just personal. And just out in the community, like with our neighbors and stuff like that, just the, just the cordial relationships, the normal societal, like, hi neighbor, smile, greet, those type of relationships, people start giving you the side eye. And that's because, you plan to go out into life and, live a normal, decent life. You plan to have friends, you plan to have family, you plan to, just do the everyday things. And it seems as though, for targeted individuals, every aspect has somehow been infiltrated, set up, and sabotaged. And what I've noticed, I've noticed a lot, of targeted individuals have come to the Most High God. They've started picking up their Bibles, reading the scripture. That's where they find their comfort, whether they're, you know, well down the path in their walk, their spiritual walk, or they're just starting out. Nevertheless, that's where they found their comfort. And that's what, at the end of the scripture it says, but the Lord is their refuge. They have found a safe haven, in the Lord. So the next thing I want to talk about is smear and slander. And that is in Psalm 41, verses 7 through 10. And it says, all my enemies whisper together against me. They imagine the worst for me, saying, a vile disease has afflicted him. He will never get up from the place where he lies. Even my close friend, someone I trusted, one who shared my bread, has turned against me. So if you think about it, does that not sound a lot like what targeted individuals, say in their testimony? And to, go back to the demonic element of it, you see here in this scripture, in the Psalm of David here, he's not saying, the devil has, I trusted the devil and he betrayed me and we shared bread and on and on and on, or a demon. He's talking about a friend, someone he broke bread with, betrayed him, turned against him. And, the rumors, these things that they're saying about him, and they are hoping for his downfall. They whisper. It says, all my enemies whisper together against me. So that's the, the smear, the slander, people coming together. And once they get the rumor mill going, you don't really, you're not able to stop it. And it's like, like he says in there, they're hoping for the worst, imagining the worst for him, and hoping that he never gets up, from how low he's been brought. As far as the torment goes, let's take a look at Psalm 35:15. It says, but when I stumbled, they gathered in glee. Assailants gathered against me without my knowledge. They slandered me without ceasing. So now if you think about that, many people say, like this target individual program, it never ends. Once you're in it, you're in it. It just never ends. And again, if you read this at the end, it says, they slandered me without ceasing. That means the lies continue. These people love to accuse you. They love for you to focused on your downfalls, like he says. But when I stumbled, they gathered in glee. Meaning these people love to set up, like it mentioned earlier, being caught in the schemes, of what the wicked man has devised for you. And, once they get you trapped, or once they have provoked you, or once they get a reaction out of you, then they all gather around in glee. They feel good about themselves. They've accomplished their goal. And then when that doesn't work, when you no longer respond to them, you no longer give them the response they're looking for, then that's when they have to go with the lies. Again, they slander me without ceasing. They just don't stop. So if they can't get you on, truths, or they can't sit here, on your own sins. If they can't get you on your own sins, catch you in sin, then they have to make up something. And if they can't make up something, then they have to provoke you to something. It's non-stop. It's a never ending, cycle with these people. And speaking about that, being accused, non-stop, no matter where you go, it will eventually come to an end. And you can find that in the book of Revelation, chapter 12, verse 10. It says, "Then I heard a loud voice in heaven say, Now have come the salvation and the power and the kingdom of our God and the authority of his Messiah. For the accuser of our brothers and sisters, who accuses them before our God day and night, has been hurled down." So we know right there, that's telling you the one who has the power and authority over the wicked, who's kind of like the puppeteer, using the strings, the strings to make them do what he wants. And these people will willfully go out and do it. He is the accuser, so he looks to be able to run back to God and say, look, see, I told you that, that person wasn't a good servant. Just like he wanted to accuse Job. That, only Job, is your faithful servant because of what you do for him. But if you don't do anything for him, he wouldn't remain faithful. Satan loves to accuse. So it's no mystery, it's no surprise that his children and his servants would also be those who like to accuse. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video here, and I will see you on the next one.